Because also when there's a problem, it ain't my.
All right. Well, now you're live. Now you're
Here,
live.
why don't you just
Here we are, everybody.
Oh, we're good. You just sit here.
It is. I told it was double stuff Oreos.
But their birthday. But
Their
their
birthday
birthday.
Oreos.
I was totally joking, but I'm gonna take a couple.
They smell
I want one.
good.
Oh my God, they smell like birthday cake. Have you ever had a birthday Oreo?
Oreos?
Oh my God, it totally smells like frosting.
This is
Like,
crazy.
totally like. Hey, Michelle
Wow.
appears on the album for the first time ever.
Yeah, look, it's the lovely Michelle.
Everybody
Hi,
watching
everybody.
now or later, say happy birthday to Michelle.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful 28 today.
Oh. Well, lady never said.
Can everybody
Have
hear
you
me?
used StreamYard before?
Hmm?
Have you used a StreamYard before?
No, I haven't actually. I use Ecamm for my.
On Mac, right? What do you
Yeah.
do? Yeah.
It works really, really well.
Where's the comments?
Well, the comments will pop up in the top on the right when people are watching.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No,
I'm
they
trying
they live show up on the right.
On the bottom?
Yeah, they'll see them as they come in.
Is that as bright as it gets?
It says what?
Is that as bright as it gets?
Would you need to be brighter?
I can't.
There, see, Kabuki Kid's already watching.
Ah,
Of course,
Kabuki
Kabuki
Kid.
Kid. Hello,
Did
Kabuki
you
Kid.
tweet this link or anything?
Oh, I printed it out. Do my normal thing. I haven't tweeted the link or anything. I can tweet the link if you
You
want.
tweet it, I'll retweet it.
Oh, click on
We'll get 2 more
yeah, click on
viewers.
the
All right. Wow.
like. So point to
Leave the album.
Jim Felly's in there.
Best
On the
kept
bottom.
secret.
Oh my God. I can't
my
even see the
God.
mouse. Where's the mouse? Where's the cursor?
I'm certainly glad we decided to go live.
You know a lot better about it.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Here, plug it in.
This is the competition.
Plug in the mouse. Yeah.
However,
Hey, that works.
I don't believe there are any birthday Oreos at any Dice Tower event. And so,
You know why though?
why is that?
That very first 24-hour marathon we did, we were doing it straight through,
Let's
right?
click on the picture of Jim.
Where
So
is
I
the
brought in
mouse?
all these snacks, and I got so many comments like, "That's so unhealthy."
I
guys."
clicked on Jim.
I couldn't
Why
believe
is the
you guys
mouse-
did camera.
Slide comments.
The mouse
Yeah.
is like a
No, they
million
just
miles an
afterwards
hour.
comments too.
Well, it's
Like
'cause
people would say,
he needs
I
to
can't
play,
believe you made all the
you
unhealthy
do it.
food.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, you were doing a 24-hour marathon. That's
used
also
to play
not healthy.
first-person shooters.
We wanted to stay awake,
Mhm.
so now I just hide the food off camera,
People
and it's all carrot sticks.
There,
Of course.
Jim's on.
And celery.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, well now.
What?
You know, it's only half of us. No, it's just the Tom and Jim show.
Well, I can minimize Jim. Hold on. I can go like this. He should be. Are you talking, Jim?
No, I am now.
Yeah, I can hear him now. There we go. Hey, Jim.
Hey, guys.
Oh, perfect.
Why aren't you?
Lance, you look like you lost weight.
Well, I don't know where I put it, but yeah, I'll find it again, I'm sure.
I'm sure I found it for you.
Did it? While you were doing all that?
haven't. Gravy.
Remember,
is good.
we are live. We have been.
We are. Gravy is good. I'm working on a
Hey,
new type
googly
of gravy
moogly.
for Thanksgiving this year.
Tofu gravy.
No.
Look, are you on a?
What's the sneak preview?
The what?
A sneak preview of the gravy.
No, I got some concentrate from the company somewhere or other, and I'm gonna mess it because my wife always wants to make it straight from the turkey, and it always adds like an hour and a half to it. Though it's just a mess. I'm trying to figure out how to get it.
all the giblets stuff. Like the neck and the. You know what you're talking about when you boil all.
But you don't even cook. What are you talking about?
I fried all.
Well,
I fried
fry
all.
it.
You want to get rid of them. You want to get rid of them.
All right.
What
So there.
holidays don't you go all in on? Because I know you go crazy for fireworks.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I know you go crazy for turkey. And I assume you go crazy for Christmas as well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You mean at the big holidays?
I mean, Halloween.
July 4th, actually.
What's that? You really?
Yeah. Well, most of it's like start concerts happening. I don't have time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm like, yeah, there's a holiday going on. Yay, or whatever.
This is
I
good.
don't go in all at that. I
Okay.
don't. Valentine's Day, I really dislike that holiday.
It'll be better
I
in
feel
a couple
like it's
days.
Oh, really?
a corporate fortune
And what
on
does
my
your wife
wife.
think of that?
She's fine because I go out of my way to make sure there's days around there
Ah, okay.
that I spontaneously do stuff.
Mhm.
Also, we follow the Korean policy.
What's that?
Korea, on February 14th, the girls get the guys something. On March 14th, it's called White Day. I don't know why. The guys get the girls something. And then on April 14th, anyone who didn't get something on the other ones, that's called Black Day, and they all go eat black beans and commiserate their
The
singleness
sad
together.
people who have no one in their lives. to give them something? Is that?
Huh?
Paul Tompkins is here and he's watching.
Oh, he's here and watching.
Yes. Yeah. Have you seen Paul Tompkins?
I haven't
He
seen
still
it.
looks like he's in the Taliban. And I shouldn't say that maybe out
No,
loud.
don't.
But Paul Tompkins is here at the show. And yes, he's up in his room.
He's on Team Geek.
I'm sure he's on. I'm sure he's on just the on his phone or something.
Okay.
So yeah, look, Tom Vassel's totally slumming and being part of the.
This is this is me slumming, really.
You're not supposed to agree. So
So when I saw you at Essen, you said you were going to sneak into BGGCON this year. That's what's going to happen.
No, it's working really well,
I know,
actually.
no one
I'm
knows-
having
nobody
very few
recognizes
people talk to me unless I talk first.
Well, maybe it's because you're not wearing that garish vest and the large hat.
It's really, here's the thing, the hat I can live with because I'm wearing a hat. It's the vest though, and the ties, I feel like I'm outside of my pajamas. It's really bothering me.
Weird.
Because I'm used to dressing up every day.
They are good cookies. Doesn't really match well though with this
With the pickled egg.
jalapeno habanero eggs. They're pretty hot.
I don't think they're that hot at all.
Ooh, I
They're
just
burning.
made a whole batch before I came here for Thanksgiving because I do you need a week and a half to make.
I do about 2 weeks. Do you make pickled eggs?
I do.
What do you use for your juices and stuff?
The brown.
Well, I start with red beets because I like the red. I like
Oh,
the
yeah.
redness in the pickled eggs.
If you want.
please.
I'm on camera here. This is probably not healthy, but
Are you going to do
Well,
it?
here,
Oh my
get a
God.
cup. Here, use the cup.
And then
How do I do
think
this?
he's got a fork. You just stab one with a
Oh,
fork.
stab it with a
and
fork.
pull it
On
out.
the
But do it
On the
do
game
it
topper?
off my nice new scythe.
Pour it all on there. Yeah, I've been bugging
Here,
Berkey for
take
my
it back
Viking
over.
bag for how long?
because we don't want to get it on the mat.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, Richard. Be Tom. You wouldn't have a video channel.
I don't know what's happening here.
What is going on? This is weird. Okay, then I use cinnamon sticks.
Okay.
No, it's a good thing. Some brown sugar, and then whatever hot sauce I'm in the mood to use at that point in
See, I
time.
don't. I just go with just a bunch of peppers.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that! You know, anything back there? We're live, just so everybody knows. Okay. Talk about. We're live.
I read it, Tom.
Come crash the show.
Yeah, come crash the show.
Oh,
Richard.
okay. I'm just gonna say hi. Hi.
Hello. That's fun.
All right, you some good video.
Yeah.
Or from last year. Hi.
We're
I'm
hungry.
just gonna say hi. I don't know. The new hotel's amazing. It's
I know
great here.
it's like you only
It's
have
so
1 year to
fancy.
prepare.
Yeah.
You're like, that'll
Oh, you helped yourself. Excellent.
The problem is that I make the pickled eggs every Thanksgiving, so I have turkey stuffing and then pickled eggs, and everyone comes to my house like, why are there pickled eggs? I'm like, I don't know. My mom always did it. I'm going to continue this tradition.
See, I always did it because there was a bar called Jim Lauerman's that burned to the ground, but they had the best.
It's very similar to my story.
No, they had the best pickled eggs, and I would always go there and get a plate of pretzels and pickled eggs, and then it burned to the ground. But then a buddy of mine started dating Greta Lauerman, who was Jim Lauerman's daughter, and then she gave me the recipe
All right.
of how they make those.
And is he the first to try one? I mean, those have been percolating forever, right?
No, he had one. I had one last night. I mean, they're still good. I mean, they might be 2 days away from being perfect.
Oh man.
But they're still pretty rigid, which is important.
Okay.
This one you made?
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, man.
All right.
The trick is if
Had a
anyone
weird
wants to make
smell,
medium
though.
eggs, the trick is you have to use medium-sized eggs. If you use
Oh my
large
God.
eggs,
Whoa.
if you use large eggs, they tend to take too long and then they get mushy.
All right.
So when I do it though, I always pickle all this stuff too. So baby corn is great pickled. Throw in some baby corn.
It's like,
Cauliflower,
when are they gonna talk about games?
cauliflower is really good.
Whenever Tom Vassell shows up, it's always pickled eggs.
That's true. That's
I think that's a
it's
given.
food. Okay, so today the first game I played was that game about tea, and I can't remember the name. Alubra?
Formosa?
No,
Formosa tea? Or?
it's
Formosa is really good.
Tony and Boydell's game.
Oh,
Alabari.
Alabari.
Man, is it
A
good.
nice cup of tea.
Oh, I like that game. a lot.
Have you played Snowdonia? How is it different than Snowdonia?
I haven't played Snowdonia.
Well, never mind.
What?
I did play that his.
Shut the door.
Forget that. He
Shut the
told me
door.
earlier today he played Glenmore for the first time in his life.
I was there during that conversation. Why doesn't nobody remember when I'm around? I mean, I was there when he said that.
You know why? Because you went off on your anti-Star Wars and fun rant.
Indeed, yes.
Oh, you know, we can finalize that debate right here and now. I mean, I can take on both of you. No, you can enjoy.
You realize that
Garbage.
we've knocked the table
Oh,
and our
dear.
heads are barely on screen.
Oh, you can watch garbage movies and enjoy them. And more power to you for being able to find
Find the fun.
find fun and excrement.
Yes.
So you know.
That's
Anyway,
like,
so you dug Alabari.
I really liked it. Now I played his
Foothills?
two-player one,
Foothills.
Foothills, and there was a lot of similarities. And I heard that one's similar.
Yes.
Mike Fitzgerald, I played with him, and he said he had played both, and that there's similarities, but there's some differences.
Did Alabari, was that published by his Surprise Stare and then got picked up by somebody?
It's published by the calendar guy.
Frosted Games.
Frosted Games.
It's not picked up in America at all. I don't know who.
Oh, is that the
published it.
case? I don't
Not
know.
yet.
All right.
That I know.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Snowdonia fan, so I've been very excited about it.
Although I'll tell you that I got that new Snowdonia, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, where do I start with this thing?
Oh my
so
God.
much in one box.
Forget about
you know
Alhambra.
what's, I mean, I hate to say it, but you know what's horrible is that they have, there's actually like typos and stuff, like mix-ups and some of the stuff.
In the
In
big
the
one?
Snowdonia
The
stuff?
big giant master.
Oh
set.
no!
I
Well,
mean, I
there's
have
a
it
lot
too.
in there.
There's a lot in there. I mean, and you can't expect them to catch
There's
everything.
now a
but-
contest, right? So between that and Suburbia, everyone is like, who can make
Oh, the super
most
throw everything in the
stuff in
box.
your game?
I
Guess what? I don't care. You all win. Stop make them a little smaller.
No. We the gamers win. You see, that's what it's.
how big is your personal collection? I don't think I've ever asked
It's
you that.
super tiny now, isn't it?
25 games.
Yeah, because mine.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, because the rest of it's like what 2 miles down the road in your air-conditioned storage unit for
sure, it's
Dice
like
Tower Con
I
or
just
something like
saunter in there, pull a shelf out, and get a game up. So that's really cheating. That's at just shy of 1,400, I think. But you'd be surprised. I pull games. I started pulling off Essen games from 2018 already. I was like, well, no one's playing Troll Park anymore, you know, and so
Which one?
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
TROOL Park, but it's
I missed that one.
the toughest thing is for me to decide which games get 2 copies
Why do you need 2 copies?
in the library.
Oh, gotcha. I understand.
So
Yeah, the majority of his
you
collection
personally-
has just gone.
You
has
play the
become
game so
in
much
Dice
you
Tower.
wear it out, and you have to have the secondary copy ready to go. I do have. I wish I did have 2 copies of Battlestar Galactica because I've literally worn that game out.
well, you could buy one now for the low price of like $250. It's really expensive. I don't have one in the library actually, and I have to go hunt it down. It's expensive.
It is expensive, and here, you and I have long since said if a game's good enough, it gets reprinted. That game is amazing.
IP though always messes it over. That's
Yeah.
that's the main reason. Also, I would not be surprised at all if at some point Fantasy Flight goes, here's a new Marvel superhero game and it plays the exact same way, or something to that.
Or
effect.
something. But I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, you'd have to think if the Battlestar Galactica fleet game, like there's that thing where just basically it's the miniatures and the spaceships flying around. You can play Battlestar Galactica, and that's based off of the TV show.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
can't-
saying that, but Fantasy Flight owns the game, and maybe they don't want to reprint it.
Because they hate money.
Reprints don't make as much money as people think.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you can still do a small print run. I mean, I don't know.
Fantasy Flight doesn't do small print runs. Have you seen Keyforge?
Have you seen anybody playing Keyforge lately?
Well, there's still some tons of
Well,
days.
I understand, but I mean, I remember when Keyforge came out, we had a spirited debate as to how long the life side, like how long it was going to last and what the popularity was. And there was a couple people on the boom that were like, oh man, it's going to be like worldwide tournaments and stuff like that. I was like, I don't think so. I mean, it's a fun game, but
Well, what non-Magic game in the last 10 years has had that kind of legs of those collectible or expandable? games?
well, I mean,
The Cyberpunk one, right? Or did it ever?
That
yeah,
was,
Netrunner,
they finished it now.
well, if you're going to compare it to Magic, Magic obviously is
No,
always.
I understand. I'm saying
better.
very few games have a shelf life longer than a year. I'm going to say though, I think the Marble one will. Do
Oh, it's not going.
extremely well.
Yeah, it's gonna.
That one's going to be.
It's gonna be
around
with us for a
while.
long time.
People don't like because so the Marvel one you're talking about the LCG one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think that
but
one.
that'll be around-
Champions.
Champions, but I mean, I don't know. People don't like I mean, I think the living card game for whatever reason. I mean, it doesn't have the secondary market of the people trying to make the buck off of the like the rares and stuff like that.
No, I agree on that, but I'm just saying that I think overall it's going to do really well.
Oh.
I think if we could see numbers, which we never can, I'll say it will be the #1 selling game in 2019.
Oh, those are cool socks, man.
What am I wearing?
Oh, they're
Oh,
all,
sushi, my sushi
yeah,
socks.
your sushi socks. Those are cool. You can't
Sushi
see them,
socks.
but they're really cool.
I have,
No, they can see it.
I have many food socks.
Do you like
Yesterday I wore Spam. Today is sushi.
do you like Sushi Go? I like playing Sushi
Yeah, I
Go.
like Sushi Go.
Sushi Go's good.
So Alabari, you can't compare it. I haven't played it yet. I probably won't get it for a while. It sure
Hey.
doesn't look very pretty. I mean, for the pictures I saw on Board Game Geek, it
board
looks.
looks
Michelle,
a lot
live
better.
over here.
It does it in person.
The board looks a lot better in person. I
'Cause-
the box is a little boring.
Yeah, on Board Game Geek, I mean, it literally looks like Candyland to me, almost. I mean, with the shoots and ladders type thing. I mean, it
It is weird how
really,
the train's like,
Yeah.
But
but in person, it is a more it's more presentable.
oddly enough, I got caught up in the game mechanism.
What? That's what happens when Tom comes on the boom. He stops talking about theme, and it all becomes mechanism.
No, that's the thing though. I really feel like I'm a pendulum. Like I'll swing towards theme, and then after a while I get tired of like I'm getting really tired of these dungeon crawls that have 600 pages of rules and what have you. And I'm like, all right, give me my Euro games that are so.
But why
then-
do you think?
And then I
every-
swing back because I'm getting tired of the lack of theme.
Why do you think it seems like every dungeon crawl on Kickstarter with like 8,000 miniatures? It just seems, and not all of them,
Because of that fool who invented the stretch goals.
that would have been
Whoever that person
That's
is.
Michael Mendez.
You think
He,
did the first stretch goals?
he had the very first Kickstarter that had.
Sorry, Michael, I didn't mean to call you a fool. But I hate you for that one reason. No, Michael's a great guy.
For
But
bringing about deluxification.
no, the
Is that what
whole
you're talking
deluxification. I'm talking about the stretch goal.
No,
To
if
the point
you-
where
if
we
you-
now
Are
expect that.
you're saying TMG had the first?
Yeah, he
stretch
had
goal.
he had the very first one that had a stretch goal, and
On
if you
what?
actually, if you don't, I don't remember. It wasn't. I wasn't with the company.
Okay,
at the time,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, if you go and look at the,
Well, his first Kickstarter was eminent domain, so maybe that's what it was.
I forget what game it was, but I mean, but yeah, the James Stegmaier, like he actually in his blogs about Kickstarter and stuff like that, he credits TMG and Michael Mendez with
Wow.
creating the stretch goal.
That's I don't know what kind of legacy that is actually.
Well, I mean, I think the idea of a stretch goal is great, but now we have this thing where we expect stretch goals. They're required.
Oh,
They need to add a ton of content. If a game doesn't have 16 stretch goals, some people drop out. It's really weird to me.
so talking truth here. I mean, as a person who like for a company that we did when we planned Kickstarters, and I can't speak for everyone. I can just speak for the ones that I've worked on. But yeah, we you know, it's like there wasn't any big surprise. We knew exactly what was going to happen, and it wasn't like it was just the price points, right? It was like, okay, well, if we can subsidize the addition of metal coins if we do this, we can subsidize. And then what the weird thing is now with Kickstarter is that they become people expect, and which rightfully so, and, you know, expectations are what people expect. Whether or not they're right or wrong is a totally subjective thing. But I mean, I think at this point with Kickstarter, it's like you're not giving me metal coins already. You know, I mean, they're kind of like, you know, it's like I'm backing you in Kickstarter. I should already have a little bit of extra, or else I'm just going to wait for it to come to retail.
If you're pulling back the covers from your time, the other side of the divide, is I would say by far the most common negative Nancy trope about stretch goals and Kickstarters is, well, yeah, they had a full game, but then they ripped half of it out to sell it back to us as stretch goals.
Well, see,
I don't believe that's generally the case. I believe most of those are, we had an idea for X, Y, or Z. We left it out because it wasn't good enough. Oh, we need a stretch goal? Okay, we'll throw these extra 10 cards in and we'll add this. I mean,
Yeah, but nowadays that's all planned.
yeah, it's all planned because in the
Companies-
past, because there's so many people that got bitten in the ass for like adding so much. They're like, oh wow, now I can't. You know,
they
plan it.
or they went broke in it. So
Yeah.
now they'll sit there and plan and say, okay, here's all the
sure.
different possibilities.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. But is it fair to say, based on your insider, and you probably have some insider information, that core elements of the game are left out specifically to be packaged as stretch goals?
That has happened, but I think most of the time it does not.
I would expect, yeah,
But
that
it
is
has
not at
happened.
all
I know
common.
that for a
I
fact.
do on the same page. I do think that when a game like goes over well, and then like a year later they have an expansion for it, I wholeheartedly believe that is all content they ripped out of the game to basically like, okay, well, let's make this game. And they're like, oh wow, it did really well. What was that like stuff we had with that extra board we were thinking about doing? Yeah, let's just go ahead and we'll make an expansion.
Well, yeah, we'll revisit ideas that had been jettisoned as part of the development
Yeah.
process.
I tell you what, I'm not as keen on expansions coming out simultaneous to the base game though.
Hmm.
And
I
I'll
don't
tell
like
you-
that either.
I mean, because I have different levels of annoyance.
Yeah.
The most annoying one is when the expansion's packaged in the game and it's in the rules, and then it's on the punch boards, and I'm trying to figure out how to take it out so I can just play the game.
Mhm.
My second annoyance is when the expansion and all that stuff's referenced in the rules, but it's not there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you had backed the Kickstarter, these rules would make sense.
Yeah.
Like, well, I didn't. So, but the simultaneous expansions, it feels overwhelming with content. You like sit there and go, there's all this stuff.
Well, like that master set. I mean, it's just like you get that giant box of all that stuff. What do I distill this down to?
At least with both of those, and I digested them. At least with Suburbia and
Well, that's repackaging stuff
Snowdonia,
that's-
it already
before,
existed,
yeah.
right? So I like getting a game, give me the base game, let me play it after a year, and you say, here's an expansion, and I go, cool, more stuff. I'm much more content at that point.
So what's your opinion? See, I'm a guy that like I really like the fact that like when I get a giant box and it's got it's everything. Now I don't have to go and track down that one little promo card. I don't have to go and find that one little thing over this, that, and the other place. What's your opinion of the person that's been stuck stuck through thick and thin for a game, it's been out for 4 or 5 years, gone on and clicked, and all of a sudden, hey, here's our deluxe thing. It's everything all inclusive, all in one. I mean,
Oh, too bad. No, I'm sorry. The whole what do you call that? The first early adapter thing. That's the way it is. I mean, someone has to be an early adapter. I have never understood the concept where you said, "Here's something that we're giving you. I get it," and you're like, "We're gonna give to other people." I'm like, "Wait, why?" That just seems super selfish to me. Like, I got the cool thing, and they'll say after a few years we're gonna give to other people. I'm like, wow.
So you don't believe in Kickstarter exclusives?
I don't care for them. I like what I call limited exclusives. Like the Blood Rage is a good example.
Oh my God!
They those miniatures that were exclusive to the Blood Rage. Yeah. And then they just released them with the opposite gender, I believe, is what they did with all the different monsters. And so you can still get the monster, but the people who got the first one have the original sculpt that no one else has. I think that's fantastic. It's the best for both worlds.
Blood Rage still holds up for me. I still love that game.
It is a good game.
It's in
But
my...
that's because you're
Well, you know,
a member
Dice Tower is
of-
going to be having a Blood Rage opening pretty soon. Maybe, no, probably not.
Oh,
Too soon. Too soon.
Sam's watching right now.
Yeah.
If you had to guess right now, either of you, right now, the game you've had most fun playing in 2019 so far.
Clank Legacy.
What's it called? Tapestry. Which, yeah, I mean, Tapestry I have played the most this year. I have played it almost a dozen times, which I very rarely do. I've played it at 1, 2, and 4 player counts, and I know certainly a divisive lightning rod of a game, but yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Didn't you just say today, didn't you talk about how you weren't a big fan of the whole legacy scenario, whatever? Didn't you say that? Or was that somebody else I heard
Yeah,
talking?
no, it's definitely me. No, I like get tired of every game coming with a campaign. Clank, I like the legacy games better because they're designed that way. I think these Euro games that are tacking you on, I'm not as keen on that. But man, Clank Legacy.
Yeah, I know you really loved it. If I recall correctly, I think you rated it over the first Pandemic Legacy as like your favorite legacy experience.
It's kind of weird though because Pandemic Legacy it's not a spoiler, but it has a couple aha moments in it, which Clank did not necessarily have.
Nothing to that level, yeah.
It was cool, but I think Clank, the legacy formula, in my opinion, at this point is add something new every game and have good storytelling, which Clank did.
Yeah.
Pandemic had a few games. There's a few moments in Pandemic.
There were a few filler episodes.
Yes. And then we saw that get worse, like Seafall. There was like many filler episodes.
Yeah.
And even
You never went back and finished it, right? I mean,
no.
yeah.
Rise of Queensdale, for example. I like the game a lot, but sometimes I play the same game 4 times in a row. Yeah. Which is fine, but I would prefer to get some new content for a legacy game. But I want to open stuff. That's
Welcome back.
Yeah. I was surprised how much you dug Clank Legacy. I liked it a lot too, but my biggest problem with it was easily half, if not more, of the new content that's introduced to the game happens during play. And sometimes, you know, I've done this thing. Oh, we got to stop for 10 minutes now and put tons of stickers on the board that are very, very difficult to position correctly. And
yeah, I just didn't put the stickers on it. Someone else did.
I appreciated, I think, how much stronger Pandemic Legacy was to only do those big moments between sessions.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd rather put stickers on the board than scribble out that silver stuff. If they never do that in another legacy game.
Oh, geez. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you're right. That was.
Oh, it was all over the floor. I was like, oh, this is so annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
As reviewers, do you find it tough to review a legacy game?
Yes, because you have to.
I think
How many hundreds of hours do you want to spend?
They are a pain in the butt. No two ways about it. Although, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of thankful too, because in my circumstance, I only play a game a couple of times, film it, and then move on, because the tide never stops coming of new games.
I'll say
and
this
gives me the excuse to
from
play
now
longer.
on, unless it's a big legacy game, I'm gonna do multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because it's getting the people together. Like even Clank
With
Legacy.
who?
Oh yeah, that's
Probably Roy, because he's so fast at playing games.
Okay, yeah. It sounds a lot of your fun from Clank Legacy was playing with Roy as well.
Roy is hilarious to play with.
Yeah.
He really is. Although Roy's one of those guys who gives off that idea like, I'm they're trash. I don't like Euros. And we play Euro and he wins by like 50 points.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I just obviously saw the strategy. Come here and say that to me. But he's our anti-Jason right now because he can give Jason a run for his money.
Oh, wow.
Nerfenstein, aka from Australia, says, I didn't realize that was Tom until now. He looks normal.
That's
Do you feel more weird in a hat or out of a hat?
out of that.
At this point,
Well,
you feel naked when you're not wearing.
Well,
a hat.
no, it's weird. I was raised very strictly in the house. You don't wear a hat.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
Right.
exactly, yeah.
I do it at conventions because like a convention is not a house. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's a big building, like a mall. You can wear a hat in, and I wear them on videos. But like when I'm not doing the video, unless I forget, sometimes I'm running around. I take the hat off.
Yeah, but you
So
feel
it doesn't feel that way. If I walk outside without a hat, though, I will drive home to get a hat.
why?
I also live in Florida. The
Which means it's very
sun-
hot and humid
The
in
sun,
Texas.
or the sun or the rain, and hats are pretty handy.
That's
However,
what's
I
up.
have hats now in multiple locations. So like I locked the hat in the storage unit the other day. I was like, I got more.
Curious Box says greets from Portugal with a hat on. So they're having solidarity with you.
Thank you. No. We got 23 people.
Yeah. I think the most we ever had one night was like 40 something. It was a weird night though. But then we got that one like really awful human being that got in there. Just saw we had like people watching, and so they just wanted to espouse a hate speech. And,
Oh, you ended up with a
just
you
some
just didn't
person
notice.
just showed up. That's the night that I gave Kabuki Kid, who always tunes in. I gave her moderatorship.
So she just
how many
here.
channels are you a moderator at?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is the
She's
secret
gonna-
force that keeps
She's
the
gonna
entire
shut
industry
down
going.
all the.
Yeah, with a snap of her fingers.
Oh, it's just
She can take us all offline.
No. So Jim, you're outside. It looks like. Are you outside? He's gonna turn on his mic.
He's gonna have to unmute.
I am outside on my porch on one of the last probable days I can sit out here without heat lamps.
Kabuki suggests, Tom, that you post this on the Dice Tower Facebook page.
Kabuki, can you? I can't copy the stupid link on the phone here.
Technology is failing, Tom.
Share via, maybe that works.
And Chad, who is also here, just logged on and tell us about
Chad
nerds. Yeah.
And he's also here in the building,
Yes,
as opposed to in the room. In the
Chad's
building.
calling me a nerd. Come here right now. Come on, Chad.
You have been called out, Chad.
Chad and I are going
You know
to
where we
the,
are.
He got us the tour at the Reaper Miniatures plant tomorrow. That's awesome.
The Mavericks beat the Warriors 142 to 94.
That's a lot of points.
That's how easy it is. You go from awesome to suck. That's how quick it is in the NBA.
Interesting.
Basketball.
Yeah, where you put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and thinking it was so weird that like they called baskets field goals in basketball, because I always thought field goal and I would think football.
Do they
And-
call baskets field goals?
It's called
The 2 point.
the 2
right?
point, just normal. Well, even 3 point. It's 3 point field goal. You know, it's just like everybody is called a field goal.
You're taller than me. Were you forced to play basketball against your will growing up? in
Yes.
school?
Also, there's a very strong discrimination where people are like, "Oh, you're tall. You must like basketball." I'm like, no, I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
And I
you're
hate
so
it
tall.
even more
You
now.
must be good at it.
Yeah.
Because I was very skinny too. So skinny tall means you play basketball.
Yeah, me too.
I love playing basketball.
I don't like playing basketball for one main reason. The nicest people I know turn in the evil cretins on the court. I don't know what it is. And you know how when I play a board game with people, we're playing just to have fun. I found that most people cannot play basketball just to have fun. They get way too serious. I don't get
Well,
it.
you want to win?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. It means you're better. No, I played baseball, basketball, and
Which ball? Was it third ball?
foot.
The football.
The American
Foosball is what I
Were
play.
you
not the star. That's too much running.
just for fun, or were you on your school teams?
High school teams.
Oh, wow. Were you the star quarterback?
No.
That's the only one I can think of. I don't know the names of any of them.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that.
He was the center.
Hey, dude, you're looking at a shot putter over here, okay? So
Oh yeah. No, I played a lot of defense.
Okay.
Which was because when you play defense line, you didn't have to be smart. You didn't have to remember the plays. It was just like go get that
You're
guy.
starting to lose.
I ran the scoreboard. That's my contribution to the
There
team.
you
I remember doing that for my
Did you run
dad
the
when I was
projector in
young.
science
Oh,
class?
of course. I was the guy. I was the media kid. My expertise.
How many times did you get stuff in your locker?
0.
Does that actually happen?
Yeah.
You stick people in lockers?
I did not stick anybody in lockers. I remember, so like when I was a kid, I was not. So the thing was, the thing that I had going for me was I was always playing D&D. I formed the D&D club in middle school and junior high, what we called it. And there was the group of us nerds that played Car Wars and BattleTech and D&D, and we were like hardcore, like doing that. We do it after school. And there was the group of like jock tough guys that would always like mess with us. But the one thing is that I was actually big enough to stand up to them. And so I was the one that basically, like, when we got out of school, I like would hang out with like my nerdling friends, and then like I would just, I would always ride bike. I'd be the last person to go home and stuff like that, just so like the guys wouldn't beat up on me, because they used to. They would like the Tims. I'm not gonna say full names because you'll probably look these people up. I know a few of these, but no, the bullies that were in my. The bullies that were 30 years ago.
Well, yeah. How many Tims were there in your class? I think we could probably knock it down to like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, so there were.
I'll get on it, Alaboom.
Yeah, no. They regularly would they would call them nerds, and they would beat them up after school. This was like, in the 70s and early 80s. So I mean, that was just, and then you go to complain to the teachers, and the teachers say, well, maybe you should get tougher. That was the response, And then they would get the kids in trouble, and the kids would just take it out on you.
So we had a specific day in my middle school called Murder of the White Boy Day.
The what?
The honky. It was Murder of the White Boy Day. So that day was the worst day of my life. Every year. It was like the specific day. You would get out of school and you would just run as fast as you could.
Because you were the only white boy?
I wasn't the only one, but there was like, I went to mostly black schools.
Oh, okay.
But there was that one day where it was just, oh shit, this is the day. So
why didn't you just not go to school that day?
I think one year I did not go to school. I told my parents about it, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I would just, I would just, oh,
There's Chad.
Oh,
Come on, Chad. Come grab a chair.
come on. Yeah, come say hi, Chad. Sit down.
loyal.
On that fun note.
Look, everybody, Chad is real.
Yeah, sit down right there, man. You watch the boom all the time. You might as well be on the boom.
Yeah, you have to come in and tell us your high school story. That's where we're at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that was, and I still remember the day that Mike Andel, who I know is serving time in prison. No, somebody told me that.
You can look it up.
Yeah, well, what is he gonna do? I mean, no, and I remember like my buddy Scott said the last thing Mike Andel did for leaving town, because his parents moved away, was steal my bike. That was the last thing he did. He just took his bike and left with it. But I still remember the day that Mike Endell used to he would shove me around, and randomly broke his nose one day. And
that is why he's in prison today.
No, and then ever since then, he never messed with me, and then so then I was always along the ride. I was always just because I was big enough, and they wouldn't mess with him. But anyway, that just sucked. That was back when but now geeks took over the earth. So look at all the movies we watch now. Look at all the TV shows,
especially good movies like The Hobbit.
That birthday cake smell.
The Last
so strong.
It's crazy movie.
Are you pro Hobbit?
What are you doing, dude?
I'm trying to get the comments because I can't read them.
Yeah, how do you get the comments?
Just go to the video.
Just go to the video.
Yeah, but it didn't bring them up in mine.
Are you doing? They said Chad's a real person.
Chad is a real person.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
Well, MGK 2020 says Chad's an impersonator.
Here's the comments made bigger.
Well,
wow, that would have been a lot easier.
Why are you messing with my stuff?
You're old.
That was a
man
bit
now.
presumptuous.
You need that.
Yeah, that was a bit presumptuous. Now how am I gonna get that back to normal?
You click the 3 dots and then you push the shrink back
it's
down.
impossible. It's stuck that way forever.
That's great. The big comments.
Oh, they asked. We're gonna have. Oh, look at that. Keith Collins, everybody. We're in the boom.
You're slumming on the boom, brother.
Yep. Time to tell your childhood story.
Yeah, pull up a chair.
What was the worst day of your life in middle school?
Wait, is that what we're doing now?
It seems you were at.
That's where we're at.
True worst day of my
You got
life.
beat up. We're
Well,
talking
that's not the worst day. I
Oh.
mean, yeah, I've had stuff. That's not near the worst.
Well,
But I'll tell the story because I just told this story the other day. Thank you, Mr. Richard.
I'm feeling sadder being
Because this is embarrassing. Right?
we'll talk about games very shortly. We'll stop talking about
yeah,
sad
it's
stuff.
real life stuff.
All right, do I have to tell my sad, pathetic, embarrassing story? Sure.
You don't have to.
So PE class, middle school,
Uh-oh.
old gym. I mean, it's like 80-year-old gymnasium. So hardwood floors, concrete, just
Everything hurts.
everything echoes.
Okay, echoes.
And you're making you do sit-ups with your kids afternoon after lunch, and you're in the back row and you give a big
I knew it was gonna be a fart story.
and so what's the first thing you do? You look for somebody to blame, so you spin around and look, but there's nobody behind you. And even the teacher starts making fun of you. So that was my worst, most traumatizing day in the
I guess I think I'd rather have that than getting beat up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, believe me, you can beat that.
No, I mean,
You guys are all making me happy I was homeschooled.
I was about to do some. I'm trying to come into some kind of joke here about being homeschooled. Like the bully was me.
I look in the mirror and make fun of myself.
Wow, things got deep here.
You guys know the best thing about homeschooling is I don't have to do
So
anything.
so my worst day was being taken down by an 80-year-old nun. Seriously,
None.
80-year-old nun. So I went to Catholic school, and I was a wrestler. So I was a wrestler. I was a pretty big guy in high school, and I'm walking down the hall, and this nun, Sister Joachim, says to me, "Belly, your tie isn't on straight." I said, "Well, at least I'm wearing one." And she grabbed me in. She must have watched Spock take people down, because she hit me in the nerves so bad she dropped me to my knees. That was the most embarrassing situation I've ever been in high school. An 80-year-old nun taking it to your knees with a grip on your shoulder.
What was her name?
Sister Mary Joachim.
Sister Mary what?
Joachim.
Sister Mary Joachim.
That's it.
Well, if it's any consolation,
What's that? The
she's
name of the
dead
nun on
now.
the Blues Brothers?
Yeah, but the problem is, you can probably hear this whole conversation.
Not in the dark tower anymore. You're on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Wow.
I apologize to my listeners who are quick and coming.
Do you think that she's alive right now?
Yeah, but I don't think it's a consolation.
It's
First of all,
obvious.
You sounded like
Yeah.
you deserved it, so I'm not gonna feel bad for you.
It's
You should
obvious.
talk
sarcasm.
smack to a nun.
But besides, she was married to Jesus, and so she got her eternal reward. I mean, she suffered through the existence here on earth, and now she's with her Lord. I mean, all is well that ends well, right?
So Keith, what games have you played since you've been
I have played Coloma.
Uh-huh.
That's what I started with. I played
And
whatever favorite.
Wait,
Coloma.
thumbs up, down.
Cool game, cool mechanisms,
Mhm.
great art because Miko,
Mm-hmm.
No,
right? I enjoyed
Here's
it.
the butt.
I'm
Here's
waiting
the
for the
butt.
The only but is I never need to play it again. I liked it, but I don't need to own it.
Okay,
I
now-
would play it again,
Sleep well.
but I don't have a desire.
What play counts you played at?
3-player?
Okay, so I want to say something in your comment there. That seems to be for me like so many Euros now. Like I play them, I'm like, okay, that was fun, and I say the exact same thing that Keith does. I never need to play it again. If I was walking by a table and somebody said, "Hey, I need another player for this whatever," I'm not saying Coloma. I'd probably play Coloma again.
I would play it again, but
But I
don't
mean,
need to.
I would like if I was looking at a rack of games and I had to pick a game, I would pick Coloma out of like a rack. I would see it and say, yeah, because I know how to play it. I can play it. But I mean, the fact that like it seems to me that's like most games now. It's like, okay, I played it. It was fun. I don't need to play it again.
So I'll give Coloma a presentation nod that I've not seen another game really do.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the wheel in the center
Mm-hmm.
rotates and turns and attaches,
Mm-hmm.
it's all magnetically held together.
Is it?
So there's no spindle stuff through. Your board's
That makes
flat
it- okay.
and flush. And you
Oh, I
just
didn't
put
know
all
that.
three pieces, they stick with a magnet. You just rotate them so
I
there's
did
no wear
see
and tear.
that, and
That is amazing.
because I did a top 10 list earlier about like little things in games that annoy me, but I forgot that whole when the thing on the bottom of
Yeah.
on the
That makes
spinner
the whole
comes off, the
thing
whole
wobble.
board is a little wobbly.
Yeah.
They knock out, and you can't even see the magnets. Right?
Wow.
It's so
Oh, because
flush.
they're in the
embedded in the
cardboard.
cardboard.
Wow.
It's amazing.
How well does it spin?
Easy. It's
Well, it's not a
effortless
spinner.
because
It's
you're starting.
it's a slow.
I understand that,
it's a
but I'm saying you get those, and sometimes you're like, "Oh," and other times you touch it and it spins all the way around
Nope.
15 times.
It holds firmly, but not tight. So I
Hey!
mean, just
Colin Wells, guy who lives in my hometown. Hey, Colin.
so that worked
Sorry.
great.
I know he's like in my gaming group. He's an awesome dude.
All right. Well, then we want to
Coloma
know,
was
is
good.
Lance really a nice guy?
Played Happy
Don't
Dawn,
worry. This is
the butterfly
The
game.
the butterfly game.
he's too far away to
Played it with Scott and my
ban you
buddies.
from the channel.
I never need to play that game again.
What game
Which
is
one?
this?
The butterfly
Happy
from Colossal.
I like it.
Oh, Papillion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played it once.
No, I'll never play it again.
All right,
You want to play this? Nope. Good.
All right. Oh, so it's lower than. I mean, why? And what about you?
Why?
Since you were there as well. Did you play? Will you play it again?
Review a game?
Yeah.
It's mechanisms I don't really enjoy other than the tile laying,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just I just didn't like it.
I like it.
It's majorities. It's got good table presence, but I mean,
Majorities and bidding for turn
It's-
order hate both
It's
mechanisms.
very pretty.
it is.
It is
very
gorgeous,
pretty.
Yeah.
except the components fall apart.
Yeah, my butterflies.
The butterflies are falling off the paper
Yeah,
clips.
Tom.
The
What about the
trees
butterflies
don't
falling
hold
apart?
together.
I mentioned that in my review coming out tomorrow. My kids will be gluing them together later.
Yeah, I mean, once you have some
That's-
super glue,
Or you can put your butterfly out from the bushes. Or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
That's the
flowers.
one problem. I like the game a lot. It's really pretty, but you can put the butterfly in a bush. If you look at it, I don't even know you have it on
Can't see
there.
it.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
a little.
Oh, I
It's
see.
the Everdell
3D,
tree
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, you should see the Yggdrasil tree.
Oh, really?
oh, that doesn't.
It is no, it's awful.
Oh, I thought it looked cool.
The new
can't- oh,
Yggdrasil Chronicles, I think, right?
Yeah, the new one.
Mhm.
You can't. First of all, you have to take it apart, put it back in the box, and that's a pain.
Oh man.
But it's also like I can't see the other side. It's
So it's worse than
Oh,
the
it's a
Everdell
block.
tree.
it's worse than it. It's like someone saw the Everdell tree and was like,
Hold my beer.
yes.
Hold my cardboard.
Last thing I played of substance was Sanctum from CGE.
Uh huh.
It's supposed to be like Diablo, the board game,
Yeah.
and it's got a Diablo theme.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Are you?
we're good. I'll never play that again.
All right.
My
It's-
word. I like that one too.
I like.
See, I really like Sanctum as well.
I did not like the end game. I didn't like.
I will agree the end game is the weakest part of the game.
Well, but that's
But
the
it
whole
was
thing
what
is
developed the last one.
the rest
Weren't
of
you
it. If the end game is garbage, it doesn't matter
didn't say it was
how good
garbage.
the meal is up till.
I just said it was weaker than the rest. No, I had such a good
No,
time
it's not
leveling up
garbage.
in that
It's
game.
not garbage. It's just
Oh,
weak.
look at you backtrack, Tom. Tom's like, it's not garbage.
No, it's not garbage.
Stick
It's
to your
weak.
guns, Keith.
It's weak. It's
Well,
not.
I don't like it.
it's
I,
not
I
what I
will
like.
admit that is the case. But I mean, and I don't like that. It's like you can't have a build up and then like have and take steps back at the end. It just feels like they missed something. But it's still fun.
Build-up
I
is
still
so
like.
fun. The whole time you're going through, you're just
Yeah,
like,
it's got
more
more stuff, but
weapons,
it's just
more
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And the potions where you can augment it after the potion.
yeah, the system
With your stamina and
and
stuff.
the
it's great.
yeah.
the leveling up system is phenomenally innovative.
And the
That
choice
is
of
cool.
where
That
you
is cool. I'll
go
give you
on
that.
the
I
board.
like the level up system. What I didn't like was the player order bonuses, where first player gets a potion. What do you do? Because you get so much access to potions throughout
You
the
mean
rest of the
in
game.
the
it's
whole
crazy.
game?
Right, but so second player gets a potion and an upgrade card, and the third player gets 2 upgrade cards.
Well, not
Three player
card. You get a token moved up.
Well, yeah, you get to level up twice for free,
You move a token up twice. Yes.
Did
but
you play,
that's
or did you
huge.
play it wrong?
but that's huge. Because
Nah.
moving a token up is the level up action.
In our game, first player won.
Oh, are you saying you're concerned that there is a last player advantage?
I thought there was, for sure.
Were you the last player?
Yes, I was. And I won.
I
Because
always
I
hesitate
had
to
better stuff.
assume that under any circumstances
Right.
after a play or two, because it's not like CGE doesn't know what they're doing. It's not like you're so brilliant as a player.
How
I
dare
can
you, sir?
see.
How dare you?
I see what Blotta could not see. That chump.
Well,
But,
but
that,
I-
but
I
I,
just
don't think
didn't-
I don't think
I
we
just
should
didn't like-
ever, not to sit there and like protect Keith here, but I mean it's like I don't think we should ever say
Down
that,
with
like,
Collins.
I don't think we should ever hold any designer to some regard that they can't make a stinker or make a make.
Oh, sure, yeah. But still, I'd give Blotta and CGE the benefit of the doubt as a general rule that probably they're going to spot something that an average player would spot, or an even above average player.
Okay, quick,
let's say.
I'm not
I
about
should
that.
Paisley. You
Best
did win though.
best Blotta game. Your opinion, best Blotta game.
Dungeon Pets. Number 2 would be Galaxy Trucker. Which one?
Shipyard.
Shipyard is
That-
Vladimir.
that'd be-
That's Vladimir Sushi.
That'd be
Right.
best
By the
Vladimir
way,
game,
Philip.
which I would
needed
agree for
design
best
something.
sushi game
Yeah.
over.
Not.
I know
Uh,
what
Yeah,
you're
I was
well,
just gonna say
no,
the
you
same
just
thing.
put-
It wasn't a Blotta game.
I'm one of the few people. I think
Kabato,
yeah,
yeah,
Cash is probably the best one.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a perfectly
You're all
valid
wrong.
call.
Bunny business.
Even if
I will say this:
It's
the Buddy Buddy Moose Moose.
It's We Will Rock You or whatever.
The thing I love about Buddy Buddy Moose Moose is the rule book, because the rule book actually says in there, it's like if you're playing this game and you explain the game to somebody and they start being all frowny about the fact that they're gonna have to act like doing the things, just explain to them that they don't like fun and they should leave the room.
Right.
That's what it
Leave the
says in the rule book. Just like apparently you don't like to have fun, so why don't you go ahead and leave?
yeah. Well, you
did.
the thing is that game's hilarious once. And you read that same.
Defend your
poem
pick.
How many
I was kidding.
times?
It's good.
Oh.
Names. It's good. Names.
Codenames. I was gonna say Codenames would be number 3, I think, for me.
Good names.
Yeah.
Babe, so you don't like
There's so
Lords
many
as much
good
as
ones.
pets, then?
Lords is I think it was very clever how they did their 2-player implementation, but I think it puts too much onus on players, too much to keep track of, because you're actually playing a player and a half. And I don't know, maybe at a higher player count, I bit more.
Maybe,
but I mean, so much of that game is about guessing and staying ahead, and playing that queue of actions correctly. And as a 2-player game where you're putting twice as many actions down, it was fine, but I just wasn't that much fan. Plus, it can be pretty cutthroat.
Yeah.
I thought that Dungeon Pets, this might be, I haven't played it in a long time, so I can't, I might be wrong. But Dungeon Pets felt almost like too standard Euro for me.
Whoa,
like
Dungeon
and
Pets
whereas
is so far out.
But Dungeon Lords, it felt like so.
Relative, I would say so. Yes,
Yeah,
Dungeon Lords is crazy far out.
Yeah, and so I mean, I was just, so that's why I think they're both really good games. But I'd rather play Galaxy Trucker than so
yeah,
I just love Galaxy Trucker.
I like Galaxy Trucker the best, but I like Pets over Lords. Easy.
The thing about
you didn't like Lords at all, as I recall.
I did not.
You were very
Really?
down on its anti-theme, if I recall correctly. Too bookkeeping, too accounting.
I thought there wasn't enough strong decisions. You know what it is? I really like what's the video game called?
Dungeon Keeper.
Dungeon Keeper, and
Yeah.
it didn't give me that vibe that I wanted. Like,
Well, that's a hard vibe to capture. I worked with Dean and Simon for years when we did a Fable 2. Yes, that's right. I've worked with Peter
you
Molyneux.
need like a button, like name.
I've
drop.
worked with Will Wright.
Name
I've
dropping.
worked with Mark Frank.
He doesn't do that.
I didn't work with anybody.
You worked with George Broussard.
Hey, who just came in
Infamous.
here and said hi? Who just came in here and said hi and just was like, hey,
I didn't
what's
work
up?
with them.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, but you were such a gushing fanboy when you got him to come here last year.
Oh yeah.
Who are you talking about?
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer.
Oh, yeah. I have not worked with Tim Schafer.
Well, you can't.
I worked with Kevin Eastman,
Oh,
but only
TMNT.
just very briefly though. For
You got him his coffee.
heavy metal.
One of my favorite stories. A friend of mine whose father recently passed away, but his father had one of the greatest sense of humor ever. And so in Fargo, North Dakota, they have the Roger Maris, because Roger Maris is from Fargo. Well, technically,
Who's
Jamestown.
Roger Maris?
Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in 1961.
he's a football
I was
person.
about to
that guy.
cross his table.
He plays
So-
hockey.
So anyway,
It's a ball.
but
Yeah.
they have the Roger Maris Celebrity Golf charity tournament, whatever. And so and they actually get like big name sports people come and they play golf and do things. So my friend's dad was the bartender at the place, and he told me, so hey, I met Bob Costas yesterday. I was like, holy cow, you met Bob Costas? What did you guys talk about? Well, he came up to me and said, I'd like a Diet Coke. And I said, what did you say? I said, right away, Mr. Costas. That's it. Yep, that's it. Yeah, man, you should turn that off.
Shut up.
So, but no, yeah, I don't have any brushes with greatness. This is my brush with greatness.
Good to brush your great.
You were like a roadie for years, weren't you?
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, most of those people were a-holes. So, so I wouldn't really call them brushes with greatness.
Played the Mind Extreme today.
And
And what is it?
The Mind.
In what way is it extreme?
You have one pile that's going from 1
Oh,
to
that's
50,
right,
and the other
you're-
one's going 50 to 1.
so
Right.
it's a mind mixed with the game.
Yes. Yeah, so you're going up and down, but simultaneously, right, in real time.
Mhm.
Although they have added in the dark levels. So
Paul
level
Tompkins,
3
why don't you just come to the secret room since you're here in BGGCON? You could have come on live. I had to go to my room, so I'm not watching the gaming hall.
So level 3,
Keith,
all
you
of
can
the
just answer
cards
directly. You
going
don't have to
upwards
type,
are
but-
face,
Oh, I can't
like
win
face down.
because
So Paul was like one of the most normal human beings I've ever seen in my life, and then he decided he was just going to grow out all his hair, and he literally looks like he's been living in a bunker. Like if they just let him out. he had shaved his head, and all of a sudden it's just like hair down his back, big giant beard.
All right. Well, I want to get in one more game before.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
well, that's
What have you played in your time
Yeah,
here?
I told you I played the T game.
The T game?
Uh,
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Algar, yeah.
And then I played Save the Meeples.
Okay.
And what did
which
you think of
has
that?
way overproduced components, like crazy components.
Yeah.
There's like trains and there's
I
some
saw
really,
that at SF.
Love
there's
the
some really
concept.
neat ideas in it. At the end of the day, it's
You never have to play it again.
I don't want to steal his dumb line because you never have to play any game again.
Well,
That
you
is
know what I
true.
mean, but it's like, but after doing the review thing for as long as you have, I mean, like you have to. I was actually wanted to circle back on that. Was like, do you find yourself? It's really tough to
Thought
find
you were
that
out.
game. What? What are you doing?
No, I feel like a trap question coming.
No, this is not a trick question. So it's like I find, and I actually wanted to actually asked this. It's like I find that like it's like maybe it's kind of like what everybody says, like the music you listen to when you're a teenager is like the best music you ever listened to, and so like it's just like because you always reminisce on like the greatest time in your life, and that's the games that you really love. And so like by and large, the games that I'm like super excited to keep playing, or I go back and it's like they're predominantly from 7, 8, 9 years ago. Now, every once in a while, one of them still pops in, and like I'm like, that's really good. But it seems less and less that I find a game that I'm just like super jazzed about.
Maybe I feel like that's more just because there's more games coming out. I still feel lots of games I'm excited about.
So let me posit a question then. Given the huge influx of games now and the amount that hits the market every month, is it worthwhile for a designer to try to design a game to play multiple times because people just won't do it?
There's a lot of people asking that same question. I think you should try because it feels lazy to not. It feels almost cynical if you're designing a game that you feel people are only going to play a couple times.
I think there are a lot more normal people out there that buy a half a dozen games a year and will get plays out of it. We are all in our geek bubble.
Yes.
We assume the entire industry is like us, and that's not the case.
Yeah, I agree on that, but many of these games coming out are only selling 2,000-3,000 copies.
Mhm.
That's not that many.
Well, is that any different than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago? That's pretty much the norm.
The numbers keep coming down. It was
so your argument
run was 5,000.
with the increase in just overall player base, you should expect more.
People are spreading it across.
Yeah, there's so many games spread out. So yeah, there's a lot of games out there that no quote unquote normal gamer is probably ever going to play.
Well, and you remember, I mean, and I don't know, you can agree or disagree, but you remember like 10 years ago when you'd go to a convention, like you'd walk down the aisles and you would like be able to see the games and you'd be like, I know what that game is. I know what that game is. I know what that game is. And now you walk down and you're like, what is that? I've never seen that before.
Well, that's because there's thousands of
Well,
games.
I understand that,
coming out
but
per year.
but it's like, but it seemed like it was, I don't know, it was just like the really good games everybody thought were the really good games. And like, you know,
Sure, there's no game that dominates anymore.
Yeah,
It wasn't
remember-
like when Dominion came out and everyone played Dominion.
or do you remember when the hubbub for
Killers
Agricola? I mean, barely anybody had even played it, but everybody was just like, oh, I gotta get a copy. I mean, I
Did
was
you say
the old
Tapestry or Agricola?
Agricola when it came out, like whatever that was.
Got it.
You know, well, I got you. I see what you did there. You were, yeah. You know, if you said, you just, I hate that. You just saying what? Just saying what?
What's being
Well,
said?
no, when people say, just saying. Well, just saying what? Finish. You're just saying.
I'm saying you're a moron and your opinion is wrong.
And that's a good thing to leave on. If you want to put that last game, you should have done.
And then with that, Alaboom!
First Alaboom.
Drops
So to close the loop on this, I really think that games should be designed to provide a growth experience with the players. As you play and can learn more, the game gives you more richness and should be played multiple times. I fear that the culture is growing to the point where people don't like their first play, they never play again. And in fact, even if they like it, they may not play again because there's so much fear of missing out on the new things.
Well, and
I would only change, I would stick by my, if you change that word from people to geek, yes.
Yeah.
If you just say normal people, they're going to buy 6 games a year and they're going to play all those games a lot.
No, they're not. What normal people do you know that play games lots? Normal people buy a game and never even play it.
looks like Tom is just like a war
Or they buy
gamer.
one game every 6 years and play it all.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many games.
Well, okay, no, yeah, you're right. I'm not talking pure normal. I'm not talking muggles. I'm talking about
No.
recent diva or recent
Opinions of Richard
converts
Mann do
to
not reflect the opinions of the other people here. I would not call them muggles.
Yes.
No, there isn't. What's a normal gamer?
A normal gamer is somebody who's basically, well, there's
Who are these mythical beings you're talking about that are not diehard collectors that buy one game and play it a lot? I've not seen any of them in my game group.
they don't go to game groups. They play with their family and friends.
There's
My
a-
wife has many friends who do
Sure,
exactly
I get
this.
that, but they're not buying these games.
They're not buying Marquee.
different games.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah,
those
they're not
games are
buying-
marketed only for gamers.
Mhm.
So then you can't use that as a, well, there's some people buy the same game.
Well,
Those people don't
agree
buy
with
that game.
I don't agree with that because like most companies need to have something that has a broader appeal. You couldn't publish just Maracaibo unless like you had something, or Maracaibo, whatever how it's
Mhm,
pronounced.
mhm.
Like Capstone now has that niche where they're like, oh, we publish like heavier games, and that's
Sure.
but most companies can't just publish Maracaibo. They have to have something that has a broad appeal.
No, I get that, and I'm saying that. I'm saying people are playing the Azuls and the Ticket to Rides, but Maracaibo is not being by what you're saying as a normal gamer. No normal gamer buys that. Only board game geeks and other people buy that.
Yes. Oh, I mean, yeah.
So
it
then that
defines
game
what
is
you define
specifically
normal.
aimed at them.
I would say what a normal person is. I'm defining it as a recent, board game devotee would be me 9 years ago when I first became aware a decade ago. I was buying, I don't know, 8, 10 games a year, and my wife and I, we played Agricola every Sunday for like half a year. And I've played Seven Wonders so many freaking times because me and my coworkers played it every
games
day.
that do that.
But I would say those are games. If they came out today, you would say, well, what's this Agricola thing? Who's going to play that more than 3 or 4 times? Then you're done. Agricola hasn't changed. Geeks have changed because there's this madcap dash to must play everything. If I don't play every game that comes out, I am failing as a geek. Nobody says that about must read every novel, must see every movie.
I don't think anyone's even saying that though anymore. I don't think anyone can play all the games.
Oh no, and
I can't.
Well, let's be fair. Like 10 years ago, you still couldn't play all the games, but 10 years ago, you could play the 25 games a year that everybody said you should play.
The must plays, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what people did. Everybody had an opinion about those 25 games because everybody agreed those are the 25 games you should play that particular year.
Yeah.
No, you can escape.
Lock the door.
Back in.
Lock the door. No,
this is the reason Alaboom stays on until like 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
No. So
it's very Columbo. One more thing.
Yeah, just one more thing. No, yeah. So if you, obviously, the proliferation of the board game hobby is something that none of us could really truly see. Explain, but a couple questions. How often do you spend on a BGG? No offense to Scott Alden here, because I've told him how much time I spend on BGG. How much time do you spend on Board Game Geek compared to what you used to do?
I spend more time on Board Game Geek than any other website.
Well, that doesn't mean
except
anything.
Facebook, maybe.
That doesn't mean anything. Are you
asking, has
say
his usage gone up or down?
I'm just saying I can say the exact same thing because I go there and I read stuff. But as far as being an active person on Board Game Geek, posting, interacting with people, things like that. Would you think it's increased or decreased in the last 10 years?
Tom, I know what he does.
Well, technically, I'm not posting those things.
He has people.
You have people that post that
people.
Tom Gastel for you?
Wow.
No, I read.
I know you read me.
I can look at my top sites and I know that number 1 is Board Game Geek, and then Reddit, and then Facebook. Those are the 3 things I go.
But I'm talking about interacting.
Why do I read Reddit? I don't know. There's some masochistic thing inside me.
You're searching for
He's just trying to keep Zito from getting too big.
A bigger hive of
Reddit
scum
finds
and
out
villainy
movies
you
before
will
anybody else.
not find.
For some reason they find there's so many people there.
They're
that-
posting from other places.
Sure, but I'm saying that conflation. If I want to know about something hot, it's on Reddit.
So let me go back and ask you guys a question. Ideally, how many times do you think you should need to play a game before you feel like you've got the nuances that the designer wanted you to get?
Here, I'm going to answer that. I'm not going to let you pinpoint Tom on this one. I'm going to say right now.
I think he asked all.
Well, no, but I know.
No. I asked everybody. I'm curious for everybody.
If they disagree with you, that's fine. But here's the deal. Anybody who says out there that says, "Oh, you can't tell me if a game's good or not after one play," I say, bullshit. People go watch a movie once.
There
and
are
say
vassals watching. Please.
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, people can go
That's not the question I'm asking.
People can watch a movie and decide it's crap after one watch. They don't tell movie reviewers to go. You can let me talk. People don't tell a movie reviewer go back and watch the movie again and then tell me whether you still think it's bad. I think that's crap. The thing is that I tell anybody else, when you've played 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 games like the people at this table have, then yes, I will listen to what you have to say as far as you telling me you can't just play a game once and tell what.
So that's not what I'm asking. Let me
understand the nuance of a game, and you went off in your review rant, but
yeah, I'm saying if you how many times do you feel like you want to play a game before you feel you capture the nuances? I mean, do you want to feel like, gosh, I want to play this game 4 or 5 times and that's when I feel good? Or do you want to say, no, if I can get it in the first time, I'm happy? I'm curious. It's a personal opinion. I'm not suggesting that you're saying this about a law. I'm saying for you personally, how many times do you feel like you should be playing a game before you feel the nuances are there? Because that's what the designer needs to know.
As many as it takes, in your opinion, in the reviewer's opinion. That's what it is. Because there's no set number.
Jim, I'm not a
my good
reviewer,
friend
not
Kevin,
you might.
he's been gaming probably longer than all of us.
All right.
Has thoughts on this topic.
Okay, Kevin, lay it on us.
Do you want to get in this?
And so we can
I'll
see.
give you my
It's your
seat.
chance to get out.
No.
And Tom Vassal has never heard
Okay,
of
Kevin, tell us who you are and what you do, and just from DNA to this point, tell us your life story, and then go ahead.
Oh, it's way too long. I'm turning 70 in less than a month.
Well, congratulations.
So yes, I have been gaming a long time. Some of my first games were 3M games from '64 when I was 13 years old.
Oh.
So, or 14, something in like that age. So yes, I have been gaming a long time. Nuance, yes, it takes a while. I love Castles of Burgundy. It took me probably 4 or 5 plays to really understand the game. 2 is, you are right about one part of, we've played a lot of games, so when we play a game, we know whether it's good or bad. I had bad experiences with Castles of Burgundy. I still knew it was a good game. But, and this is the caveat.
I'm getting dressed down here.
Games are like wine, and wine is my second favorite subject.
He's already in his cups, just so you know. Just so you know.
We've been enjoying a nice wine this evening. And that is that everybody's tastes are different, both in board games and wine. And just because you like it doesn't mean I'm going to like it.
Well, you better.
But that's my caveat to it. So I think you're half right. I think there's a lot of evidence of that. I also think you have to take in case of who's making that assessment of that game. If it's somebody that likes the same kind of games you like, then yeah, go with it. If they're not, then well, okay. So that's my 2 cents.
So Kevin, I want to cabbage on to what you said, because for me,
Don, you can go.
I
want to have an excuse.
I want to feel like three times for me is if I like a game where I feel like there's stuff I'm missing, and if I don't play it at least 3 times, I don't feel like I've understood it.
I would agree with that statement, absolutely.
But Jim,
But what about sour milk? Do you drink sour milk to double check it?
Just in case. There might be subtle hints.
There might be like something.
You might want some of the subtleties.
But I've played really good games with really bad groups that have tasted like sour milk, and I played that same game with other groups, and they've been fabulous.
well, it could be. But if I play a game and it's not fun, I don't care about the nuances or anything else, because I have 300 other games sitting right there on the shelf that I know are fun. Why am I going to give it a second chance? Why do I want to spend that time out of my life to force myself to find out if I like it?
I'm not talking about not having a rejection filter. I'm talking about a game. My preference of a game is I prefer the games that I feel personally that I need to play.
It was very cool of you. We'd love to have you again sometime.
Yeah,
Every Wednesday.
if you
9
can
to
get past the
5.
fun window, then you can look at it.
I'm not saying, Keith, that you need to play every game multiple times. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
All I'm saying is that I personally prefer games that make me feel like I need to do this again because I don't feel like I've captured or I've understood or I've tried the things that I'm supposed to. Let me rephrase that. There's a decision space that I haven't tapped yet, or there's nuances I haven't captured yet, and I want to give it another try. I'm not saying that all games are like that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a rejection filter that says, oh, this sucks, I really don't want to play it again. I mean, that's fine. I prefer games
Sour milk games.
where I have to play several times.
That's a brand waiting to happen.
Exactly. Register that now.
That would be a
Make
great
that your
game company. Sour milk games. You'll know after the first win.
And I think it's because I'm closer to 70 than I am to 30. So there you go.
I like
what was-
Lord Jabby's question. Actually, it was here a second ago. Thought it was actually very germane. Where'd it go? Jason Levine is here, everybody. Thomas
Hey,
left.
Rado, Jermaine, word choice of the day.
Does playing thousands of games jade one to a possible great game due to the fact that you've played the mechanisms or theme before?
It's definitely possible.
I think it's definitely, I think it's something everybody has to bear in mind anytime they see me or Lance or Tom do a video. We have played so many games. I think we are chasing after uniqueness and freshness more than most people who have played maybe a dozen games or 100 games and are still impressed by, you know, something that to us looks like same old worker placement game we played 500 times.
Well, so something that I wish that I can remember, like I can remember the first time. So like when
I was for Aldi.
Yeah,
That's all that.
no. So like I can remember the first time that like when I the game that got me in the hobby was Arkham Horror, and I remember just being blown away that there was everybody always says I had no idea there were games like this. And they always say that, right?
Yep.
You know, so it's like
It's true.
if it's possible to go back to that first year when you discovered the games and you discovered that these were the board games that were above and beyond what you grew up. I mean, but that's not totally true because I played some games like Survive. I had a copy of Survive when I was a kid, you know, and just like, you know, it was just, you know, but I didn't realize that there was more than just that. And so I wish that you could somehow go back to that era, right? And just be able to recapture that
childlike wonder of discovery.
Where you would go into a board game store and just be like,
You know,
played it,
All right,
played it, seen this, done that.
so Rado, that question that person asked also raises kind of a corollary question, which is how many times do we play a game and play it because, oh yeah, I know what this game is like, and we play it like game A because we think it's supposed to be game A, but it's really game B. You know what I mean? You play it as though it's a Euro game when in fact it's really not a Euro game. It's really something else.
Okay, but I'm going to posit that the person asking the questions right now is a board game designer who we are unmerciful when we make fun of his games. So I think you have a bit of sour grapes yourself. Oh no, like we give him, like Jim has said to me, I used to have a friend that looked just like you. That's like one of his favorite lines. But no,
true story, no problem.
I think Jim comes from a world where as a designer, you put a lot of heart and sweat and tears and struggle into your designs, especially since you don't crowdfund. I mean, you create your games and you put a lot of your personal investment, both like your life and your money and what have you. And so when the game maybe gets responses that you don't really appreciate, I mean, I think you're a little jaded by the response, and then that's where I think these nuance questions are coming from. It's like, well, you have to get my nuance, and it's just like,
no, because to be quite honest, I don't give a flying. I don't care.
Tom, building, it's okay.
I don't care.
Don't you dare tell me that you don't care what reviewers say, because I know personally that you have contacted reviewers after the fact to ask them. I don't think you perhaps.
That's not what I said. That's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is I don't care what kind of games you like. I don't do marketing. I don't jump on whatever the hot topic is. I make a limited number of runs.
That's a store where you can buy really cool T-shirts.
He doesn't care. He just said that. Come on.
I like to make games. I like to play, and my friends play, and we have fun with, and then I make copies and sell them. That's it.
Yep.
My question is, I know other designers, and I look at games that I play with friends. I look at games like Mysterium or games like Betrayal at House on the Hill and things of that nature. And there are nuances to those games, which if you're willing to engage in them, it's a completely different experience than if you're just there to say, there, I played it. There, it's on my list. I've checked it off. What do I play next?
Have you played Obscurio? Oh, so you were mentioning that you weren't a fan of
Kevin, I
Obscurio.
forget. You're Scott's stepdad. Is that right? What was it? Or something?
That was
Oh, okay.
He's my nephew. He's my nephew.
Oh, okay, nephew. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You can continue.
So no, you mentioned that you weren't a fan of Mysterio, but
I'm
you
not.
like Dixit.
I
But
love
have you played
Dixit.
Obscurio?
I have not.
Okay.
So I don't know that.
What about it?
Well,
But
it's a cool.
so
It's basically Mysterio with the trader mechanic.
my problem with Mysterium, was that I felt like I was in a rowboat without oars, heading towards the falls, and absolutely no control.
Who were you playing as the ghost, or?
No, I was one of the participants.
I'll say this.
And I played it 3 times, so it's not like it's.
I gotta plug it in.
You know, I gave it enough time
running low, yeah.
to figure out I didn't like the game.
Was it the English one or the original?
I could not tell you. It
Charger
was not
in
my
Or the Polish one? Yeah.
I felt that way when I played the Polish version. Like you just
It was a marked improvement when they brought it. I guess you call it
In
the French
terms of the
version, I
rules.
guess. Although I know you're wrong,
Last
man, you're
viewer.
wrong.
No, you're wrong, sir.
the art in the
I have played.
art in
I
the
played
Polish
the Ukrainian rules, the Polish rules, and the French rules. And
It's
the
okay to
French
be
ones.
wrong, Richard. Just because you have a crap load of subscribers doesn't mean you're not wrong.
The Polish art I thought was hands down the best, but the rule
right.
set was not the best.
Yeah. So I gave it plenty of time to try,
Mhm.
and I just every.
Use guys is gone.
New test.
Ignacy brought it to BGGCON on my first BGGCon. And
There's no visual, you guys.
He's working on it.
The battery is going down on the laptop.
Ah, got it.
Hardcore Mysterium, other players aren't allowed to see your dreams. You can only
Oh.
describe them to each other.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Because you can't see other Zev's rationality. You can't see other people's dreams.
Oh, I like that a lot.
And so you can talk about what they look like, but you can't show them.
That's
oh my God,
really
it is so hard.
cool.
It's
That's
fun,
a really
but it's
cool
hard.
idea. Wow.
It is
I mean, that's effectively-
I don't know that
I mean,
I'd like it any better, but
You probably won't like
the
it any
idea.
better,
I
but
like
it's a
the
different
idea.
way to play a game if you
You
like
know,
it.
that reminds me of the one we played at GenCon, where you were telling the story.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're back
Greenville.
on.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but it's very similar.
Right.
I like that idea.
And you kind of have to do that to play that.
Yeah, and Green, I think
I've
Green.
never won.
But
Yeah,
fairy
but
tales
it's still
still do
fun.
that.
I gotta go get Barry Dublé. I'll be right back.
You know.
Okay.
Rare,
What do we talk about? Lance always gone.
The thing always falls apart when Lance leaves. He is the glue.
He's the
idea.
glue
You're
that
trying
binds. Well, he's the guy that can
give
talk
an
about nothing.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I mean,
What are we gonna do?
It feels that
Well, you talk to yourself all day long, like really well.
I'm actually really a quiet, shy, introverted fellow.
No, but you
Nobody
talk to
asked
your
about
family
my
well.
childhood growing up. I was the kid in the 80s wearing a hoodie before it was cool. And just with a hoodie up all the time, listening to Beatles with the pizza face. So horribly self-conscious, I wouldn't say anything to anybody. I didn't do sports, didn't do any of that stuff.
When I was
And
in college, I was called a closet critter in the dorm because I didn't come out of my room.
Paul Tompkins, everybody.
Hey, Paul, talk.
hey,
Hello.
it's a greatest hits episode.
And
What are you doing?
Barry Dublé.
What am I doing?
Did they finally kick you out?
Yeah.
Get out!
Hey, it's live. Behave.
Hold on, Kevin, you don't have to leave.
Oh, so no,
You are no Anglophile. Be gone.
Pull up chairs.
I don't know what the hell that was.
We can cascade it out.
I think Kevin should sit down. I like talking to him more than Lance.
Thank you.
Oh,
New King Alaboom.
Hey, can you guys see my screen if I share it?
No.
I have to click on a button.
It has to
and
be
I don't want
allowed.
to reach forward and do it.
Do you want?
Allowed. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to get it a little bit further back so we can get it slightly wider view. There's so many people now.
Yeah, but if you spit on the
There we go.
camera, it give you like a fish lens.
See? There we go.
What do you want to share? What do you want to share, Jim?
I just want to know if you wanted to see the frog cards that are being done by my artist.
Absolutely. Show us the frog card.
I'll see if I can click on it.
Slide this box.
Your stupid mouse is like accelerated by a billion.
That's why you were.
I mean, I literally pushed the person. Look at that. Look how fast that mouse is.
Yeah, that's why you're no good at third-person shooters, man. It's just
Can you see that?
high sensitivity.
Hey, Kabuki!
It's not shared. I don't see. You're not sharing.
Try
it, buddy.
sharing it again.
Try sharing it again. It's not popping up as a screen we can share right now, buddy.
Let me try again.
Not by us.
That's
No, but that is definitely the way to do it, because it's weird to have all of us, and, you know, and getting half the screen. That feels better.
Can you see anything?
No.
No.
You have failed. We can
Let me
remove
try
you.
again. Cancel, and I'll go back to share screen.
I did see a picture
Where's
of
my
when you're.
tepid pink lemonade, Scott?
Hold on.
I went
Give
to
me a
the.
glass. I'll make
Oh
it
no!
stop.
I went to
pushing
the,
all the
I went to
buttons.
the vendor's room. There wasn't even a
Seeing anything?
You have to present the screen to the stream.
Oh, do we have Bucky Bites, by the way?
How do I do that?
There are
says-
some in the
It said-
room.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, the team
Yeah.
geek room.
Hey, Trent.
Crap.
Hey, it's a Jim screen. Add it to the stream. There we go.
Is that showing the frog?
It is, yes.
You blow it up.
It's another card.
We're going to plug the
Can you make them
computers
bigger?
up for games.
Darn.
I think if you right click on the video,
what do you
there's
got?
an option to full screen.
Okay.
Oh, well, there you go. Or that way. By there. Oh, look, there it is right there. See the little arrow to full screen there? Or no, is that on his? That's his view. Never mind.
Yeah, they look
In the
good.
control room, we only get to see that as basically a thumbnail.
Yeah, we'll play games.
But those are definitely some
I
cards.
get some of these assholes every Wednesday.
I know.
Is that bad?
No, it's not bad.
Barry, how was your flight?
My flight was.
Are you here just for this, or were you
Yes.
in the neighborhood anyway?
Well, no, Berkey brought me over, so I spent a couple of days up at his place.
Who's Bracky?
Berkey.
Oh, Berkey. Okay, yeah. I know Berkey.
Sorry, it's the
Right,
accent.
Berkey.
Maybe if I speak like an American, it sounds a bit more interesting.
Is that what?
But that's not what you
That's
did.
not like an American thing.
God damn it.
There you go. Now you're getting.
That's better.
A southern British accent. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to do a Mississippi, no, that's more London like that. Christ. Australian, maybe. Yeah, so I spent a couple of days with Berkey up in Minnesota, looking at the wonderful land there with the trees and open fields. There wasn't any snow. There was ice, but there was no snow. And then we drove down.
So you're not here work related at all? Just
Well, I'm helping Berkey out with his stamp, so.
Oh, okay.
That opens tomorrow, right?
What's that?
Exhibit hall.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Go to the exhibit hall. Look for me, especially if you want a soundtrack for your board game.
Go see Jen get gamer glass.
Please do.
Yeah, I guess.
And play a game with me, because that's where I'll be.
This picture.
I almost never recognized him without his
Yeah.
facial hand.
Well, he was
Sorry, I missed the 5 o'clock
Yeah.
thing. We didn't get out of there till, like, I think we left it. Well, we broke, got dinner, and then went back, and I think we were done by 8:30.
Oh.
And she's still not
Was it
done,
quite
but
a
she was.
setup this year?
It's her biggest setup ever, because, well,
It's the biggest
expecting.
show, or-
Yeah, exactly. It'll be insane. She's terrified, actually, but in a good positive.
So
upbeat spirit.
Paul, what do you think? You're on the show. Is this
I've been on
you've
it
the
before.
show? Oh, that's right. You've been on before through webcam.
Quite a few times.
Oh, what do you
on
like?
webcam.
What do you think of Team Geek?
Team Geek so far is okay because I'm new,
Or you-
meaning
are
I
you,
don't get these early shifts. I'm working
Oh.
on the weekend
Oh.
because those are the shifts
Yeah,
that
it's
are
a
available.
seniority shift, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do enjoy what I have done. And
Okay.
I like helping out. It's fun.
Well, thanks.
It's a different side.
Yeah, it's different.
Who could get? I played nothing because I spent all day long helping Jen set up her booth and rubbing my fingers to the bone, making jewelry pieces and stuff like
I
that.
played Similio. That was a pretty fun game.
Similio.
Have you
That
heard
sounds
of that?
familiar to
It's a
me.
grid of 12 Fable characters.
Horrible
and-
games, yeah.
Yeah, fun game.
I
There's the beaver nugget.
tried one.
No,
Those are
it's fun.
those are,
one game, but way better.
a delicacy of sorts.
Have you had the Buggy Bites?
I saw them and I
Those
tried
spicy
them.
ones?
No, I tried these. I
That's
probably
beaver
that
nuggets.
back.
I'm talking about Bucky Bites.
Oh, okay.
There's everything.
Isn't that the Nuggies?
Oh no, Bucky Nuggets.
I need some Bucky Nuggies.
Cookie Kid, Richard, are there any standout games?
I just said I don't know. Chad, have you played anything interesting in your time
I
here?
just played weird shit, so.
All right, well, tell us about it.
Tell us about some weird shit.
Let's see. What did we play? I played this stuff, that game that Scott. I played it about 6 times.
The game
already.
that Chad is pointing to off camera is
Hold on. Is this one?
Oh, the Kakarlak and the sushi.
Kakalaka, cockroach sushi. Yay!
Yeah, that sounds.
Oh. So imagine if you took Ghost Blitz and combined it with just add more mind screw to it, where it's just like, okay, please. So basically, it's There's not a lot in it. It has a big high toy pack.
It's the cackalacken.
It's got a little thing. You can squeeze
Squeeze
it.
it.
Oh, it's
So you have these 9 tiles, and they have like sushi, rice, and on the back of them they have animals, and you have dice, and you put them in a circle, you roll the dice, and on the dice you'll see there's sushi, there's chopsticks, and there's rice, and on the other dice there's a myriad of colors, and when you roll the dice, it's a big slap fest on which one is not represented by the die. And so they all start played up.
Okay.
So if you slap the one that is not being represented by the die, you flip it over and you'll notice that the symbol is being held by an animal, and you match it towards the dice. You pull that towards you. Okay, so you roll the dice, and then if here is where it starts to get weird. So you'll have that in the center. Yep, like that. And so if you roll the die and you are being represented by whatever is on the opposite side, then everybody bum rushes to grab the sushi chef. So if you are the owner of said tile, you'll grab it, and then you have to squeeze it and announce what type of animal that is, whether it be cockroach, whether it be ant, or whether it be rat. And you have to do that perfectly, or else you will lose this. If you do so perfectly, then you get a point, and 4 points will win the game. If somebody comes through and they notice faster that, hey, Scott has got said tile, you have to grab the sushi chef and not squeeze it. If you squeeze it, you have screwed up, and then you have to announce the animal. And if you do so, that resets said person. And it takes about 20 minutes to play, and your head hurts when you get done.
Now, I think what Jim would like to know is how many times do you have to play it before you appreciate it?
the psychological influence.
But if you'd played some of the earlier things, this is just like a continuation. Like, a lot of people played cockroach poker, and but there's also cockroach salad, which is sort of like the predecessor to this, which is very much all up here. It's like the Nasty Seven, stuff like that. So if you're a fan of those type of games, then this is up your alley. It's a very minute percentage.
You have to pay me to play that.
That is a weird game.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, throughout your entire story, what I was left wondering is, does everybody from Tennessee say DOS? I just loved hearing you say dice.
I just
I mean, are you a native Tennessee accent, I assume?
No, I'm from Boston.
Oh, you're from Boston?
No.
Okay. I don't know. I'm from Europe. I don't know.
So John Ward says, Jen is a BGGCON. I wish I was there to say hi. I love my gamer glass.
Well, thank you. She loved making it for you.
And also they have will Jen take any time to do any gaming, or is she there?
It's unlikely. Maybe if things get slow, but I don't imagine it's going to get slow at all. We've tried that in the past, and she just keeps getting pulled away, and it's just not viable.
I met Jen earlier today. I can
That's
very
surprising me that was the first time you met her.
I can very comfortably with all faith in my statement say that Richard definitely outkicked his coverage.
She said afterwards she was kind of bummed she didn't get one of those gigantic bear hugs from you.
Well,
because you saw you give me one and somebody else, and it's like, I want one of those.
I'll make it very
all right
when you're not around.
Hey, all right.
If you want to know somebody who totally outkicked his coverage, it's Bunker Boy over here. Your life is. You must have played 1,000 games. You and your wife play games constantly. What have you played since you got here?
The best.
This is Paul Tompkins, Loyal Boomers. People know what we're talking about.
Yeah. The best game I think I've played so far is Brussels 1897.
Oh, excellent. That's a good call. Yes, I think that was fantastic.
What made that game stand out for you?
I'm surprised you like it, how mean it is.
It's
Richard's a secret mean gamer.
No.
It can be.
It's not a question of taking something from you. It's a question of denying potential towards something. We have always been comfortable.
So equivocate.
We have always been comfortable with aggressive auction games. Peloponnese is in my top 10 games of all time.
Okay.
Because an auction game is about. Well, it's the way we play.
I finally met Baron at Essen.
Yeah, Mr. Eisenstein. Yeah, he's a sweet guy. He should be super successful, so much more than he is. I mean, because he just keeps knocking out of the park.
Oh, if you don't own Peloponnese, like you can get the big box, like all of it. You can get that. That is so good.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to bear in mind when my wife and I we play an auction game, and she puts down her bid, and she puts down 3. I'm like, really? Because you know, honey, look at this. I mean, I can't give you that. That's worth 15 points to you. Are you really not going to bid at least 10 for that? Because you know I'm going to outbid you.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really outbidding, and
People are telling us we have to pull out
kind of,
Doom.
but
There's three things. It's worker placement and auction and area control all at once. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does like it takes the board game down into like just
To the metal. Yeah.
it brings it down to like a boxing match
Yeah.
almost.
Get these away from me. I'm gonna eat them all.
It's
so good.
Have you played?
I can't handle after
1993?
eating. I think I
Half
have
of-
those.
half
It's a
I
heavy
think I have
narrow
those.
game,
Oh,
but it's
that was
like
ridiculous.
hard
Oh,
to
when
sleep.
we sit down and like we play D&D on Saturdays, and then I usually have 2 board game nights during the week.
Like 3 things.
And one or two of my friends will always bring a family-sized
Which is
sleeve of
ours,
Oreos,
too.
and they're gone so quickly.
Mhm.
I mean, admittedly, my children come by and snag some, which I'm thankful for, because then they're gone. I don't have to eat them. But I mean,
Get these off Amazon actually.
Mhm.
Yeah,
2%.
yeah.
You can
well,
get anything
two
on
plus
Amazon.
10,
Yeah.
one of the best stories ever about Amazon. A friend of the show, Larry, and guy who doesn't show up nearly as much as he used to. Like, remember Larry?
Yeah, Larry Lemke.
Larry Lemke. So because he is Mr. I don't work. I scam. He's a hustler. He's a hustler.
No, he's hustling.
He's hustling.
Oh,
Always
yeah,
hustling.
he had a cooperative dice or deck builder.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's
Yeah,
got
big
a
muscular guy.
yeah.
Yeah, I
and
remember.
he's
Okay.
got a really good samurai theme game that he's been working on the last couple of years. It's
Okay.
really good. I played it a couple times. But anyway, he like for when school season starts.
Mhm.
He showed me the pictures. He'll go to every single Walmart, every single Target, every single one of those school supplies places where they have the glue sticks for sale cheap, like that you can get like a package of 2 glue sticks for $1.
Mhm.
And you'll see he buys every single one. I've seen the shopping carts. There's like 4 or 5 shopping carts, every single glue stick. And then he goes onto Amazon and sells the same pack for $9. And I was because and it's $9 Prime.
What? Why?
And I was like, and he says he sells out.
You search for glue sticks. And
Yeah,
he's the number one hit.
He sells out. I was
Super
like,
nine seems good.
I was like, and then I said, and I'm not, I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm just repeating what something he said. I said, who pays? Because it's like $8.93 is the cheapest price he can sell a package of 2 glue sticks with Prime on Amazon, because he just drives right to the Prime place and then he drops it off and then they package it and send it for him. And he said, well, who does that? And he said, white people with money who don't want to go shopping. That's what he said. And he said,
How
he
does he know
sells
the race?
what?
How does he know they're white?
Well, he doesn't. He's just
Yeah.
making the comment. He's basically I mean, that's just it. But
So
fine.
this is just
Fine,
like,
rich
he's
people
just-
don't want to go shopping and have to buy their kids.
He's just turned his real life into a Euro game of finding things at
There's
incredibly
no-
low
Yeah,
price.
An
and
arbitrage
But
market.
no,
on
so it's just
Amazon.
like, but no, and so it's just one of those things where it's like, and he clears like $3.70 in each one.
What you should
or
do,
something like
Scott, buy all the wingspans and sell them on your Board Game Geek store.
Yeah. That would corner Aldi's market apparently.
That is another game that after I played it once, I never really had to play it again. But I kept playing Wingspan. I don't know why. I played it like 5 times.
You were trying to disprove your egg theory.
No, I haven't though. I won every single time.
I've
and
been
all I
told
did was
the
focus on
Inferior strategy.
Yep.
I've been told
Oh,
By whom?
By
by
who?
people who have played it more than
More than 5
What?
times?
What are you saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Did you mean
That
I
Elizabeth Hargrave and Jamie Stegmaier might know something
that's
more
not-
about their game?
So
than
what?
some
It takes 6
schmo from
times to,
Minnesota?
to capture the nuance of Wingspan.
No, Big Egg is
That's what
the
I've heard.
equivalent of big money in Dominion. It
No.
creates a great baseline, and a good strategy should be.
I've been told. Not me.
By
I've
who?
not played it enough
It's
to
a
know.
good way to win easily against people that don't know what they're doing.
Oh, Eric. The
Lang?
professor. No, Eric. He's on Team Geek. What, do you know? Have you met him? What is his last name? He's
Well,
a
call him
college
Smith.
researcher. Eric Smith, yeah.
All right.
He's like, people don't understand, but Wingspan is not.
Well, then you got to find this Eric Smith and play some Wingspan with him here, and go Big Egg.
Yeah,
on
go
his
Big Egg and
ass.
see if it works.
This is your chance.
I don't have to. I know it to myself. I don't need to prove to somebody else.
times.
Perhaps not quite so
I won by eggs 2 times.
I won my ex
confident on your-
5 times. Did you not hear what I said?
Not against
Little
Eric Smith.
children,
Yeah.
Playing little children in grade school.
and I am undefeated.
What is wrong with you, child?
In Thunder Alley.
Willing to put up with you every day. That's a tough challenge.
I am undefeated in Thunder Road or whatever the racing game. So
Thunder Alley.
Thunder Alley. I am undefeated. I went to 20-0 and I
Games
retired.
with Thunder. He is the best.
Mary, what have you
Something like
played?
I'm not.
Or did
playing
you
it.
just get
I'm
here?
not.
Sorry?
Have you played anything in your time?
Yeah, I've been playing This Conspiracy, which I have in my bag.
Which one?
What?
The
Bis-
Conspiracy.
This?
Oh, Abyss.
Oh, Abyss Conspiracy. Oh,
Sorry.
all right. Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's another game I'll put.
Yeah.
What's in the bisque?
Yeah. That sounds like another one of those weird ones you're playing.
I'll play it.
Yeah. Is it good?
Sorry?
Is it good?
It's okay.
It missed us.
It's light.
It kind of missed us, right?
Yeah,
They got late shipment.
they got an early shipment in, but it got held up in customs.
Ah.
It's supposed to be like they had about 250 copies.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be there, but
Yeah.
that's screwed up. So it's available next month.
Barely get the expansions here though. I mean,
Well,
the second
so
expansion
Abyss,
is like,
Abyss was that game.
yeah, it's impossible. to
Keto
get here.
Oreos?
Yeah, they're working on that though.
She was asking like because I'm on
They're
keto.
working on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like usually conventions like, well, keto is so tough to find food.
Yeah.
You know, but as soon as I get home,
Yeah. You'll be back on the wagon.
back on the eggs and the Polish sausage and the cheese.
How many Red Bulls you got today, lads? Because you're talking faster than we
Bang.
No, it just bangs, baby. Bang.
Oh, man.
I'm not used to it.
When I saw him this morning at what time did we see? Like 10 a.m.
I have to have caffeine and I can't drink soda, and so this is 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and it's like the equivalent of like
It's not soda.
Thunder up your bum.
it's potent brain and body fuel. It says that right
Oh,
there.
there you go.
Ingredients: potent brain and body fuel.
You know what?
Can you believe Mark?
Bang his people!
Make no mistake, Bang is not your stereotypical high sugar, life-sucking soda masquerading as an energy drink. High sugar drinks spike blood sugar, producing metabolic mayhem, causing you to crash harder than a test dummy into a brick wall. Power up with Bang's potent brain and body-rocking fuel. Creatine, caffeine, CoQ10, and BCAA.
Oh, CoQ10.
Branched
They
chain
love the
amino
CoQ10.
acids. Life is an extreme sport, and I'm sorry, and it's extreme like XTREME. There's
It's
no
the
E.
only
Life is an
The E
extreme
of it.
sport, and Bang is the extreme energy source to live life extreme.
Do you feel your body is rocked at the moment?
No, but I can feel the fact that I've got caffeine, and I was like ready to fall asleep after I went and got amazing food with Team Geek. I would like
I'm
to
really
say-
sorry. We did want to go, but yeah.
I would like to say something that at this point,
Go, Motor Man.
I am Bangs McKenzie, Slugs McKenzie, Slugs McKenzie. No, I would like to say that to this point right now, I am still crashing BGGCON 2019 because I don't have a badge. And
Security.
How did you do it? I'll go get orange.
that's the whole thing. Like I mean, when I came in here, I was like, I never even got a badge.
Everybody knows who he is, so they don't even think to.
Nobody even asks. Nobody says anything, and I've been asked twice.
Well,
by-
it's Lance. Just screw it.
yeah, I was like,
If
hey,
I
what's
stop
up? They're
him,
like,
I'm
oh,
gonna
hey,
go
Scott's
3
back
hours
there
with my
somewhere.
You did
All right,
get his
all right.
done.
Go get your badge, you get a free
Card to get good help, I guess.
Martians.
Oh no. So then I was in there, and then the guy handed me a bag and said, grab your games. I was like, all right.
They stop him.
I'll never tell.
No, but I don't need them. I'm sure whatever
You
they
know,
are.
it's gonna be next year. It's gonna be Undead Vikings.
But thank you, though.
It's gonna be.
To be fair, the Team Geek guys stop him, and he starts talking,
And
and
like,
they
just
pass
go.
out, and he just keeps
They're like,
going.
just go.
It's like, screw it, not worth it.
It was funny though. The second time, I can't think of her name right now. Christine, thank you. So she said, "Where's your badge?" I said, "Aldi's getting me one." She's like, "Okay." And she saw me again, and she's like,
She
Hey.
knows, but she knows that's a lie because I don't know you know how to make a badge.
and so she was like,
True statement.
and she did this. She's like, what? And I was, and then I was like, I said, Aldi's getting me one. She's like, hold on. And she started to get a microphone. I was like, I'm actually gonna go talk to Scott right now. And she's like, okay.
Then Laney came by.
Just that easy. You heard it here first, folks.
Social engineering.
Yeah.
But she knows who you are.
Everybody loves me. Can't stop. What is it? You ever read the label on Dr. Bronner's Castile soap?
Oh my God. It's like
That's
their antics.
right.
It's just that. Yes, I do read it in the shower.
A webcam in there.
Yeah. So what's everybody looking forward to play while you're there?
I didn't get to play Queens today. I was looking
Which
for
one?
Queens. I think that's all.
Z.
Oh, with the Z, yeah. Queen.
The new what?
Bruno Castaldo.
To be or not to be or whatever.
Yeah.
Rio Grande.
We thought it was okay. I played it with Doris. She thought it was not realistic on how the hives, nor how the bees actually made up.
I would agree. It is not realistic.
She said it's a good game. And I said,
For those of us who want to make sure that our
If she's really looking
our
for a more
insect behavior,
a more authentic bee
Authentic,
simulation, she
yeah.
might want to try Honey Buzz.
I really
I don't know
like.
what was with the explosion of honeybee games over the last.
It was
What's
like
that?
this fall.
What's
is
that
the
4X
first
game
time
where you
of
play
memory,
where you
right?
play the ants in the colony? I can't think of it.
Mermaids?
No.
Ants?
Thunder Mermies. Oh, shut up, all of you. No. Hey, he just did a Kickstarter for like the third expansion for it.
You're talking about March of the Ants?
Yeah, March of the Ants. I really like March of the Ants. I like it.
I've noticed this fall there have been several butterfly and bee themed games.
Two bee themed games I know of called Apadaya and Honey Buzz, both very good games that I played that are on Kickstarter right now.
I didn't see Apple
Apadaya is from a local Minnesota guy. So I played it.
That's always going to be. It's because whatever it was, a few years ago, it was all in the news. The honeybees are disappearing, and that all of a sudden, a bunch of designers got the same idea. Well, I should make a game about bees. It took them all about the same time, and
They're going away. We need to preserve them. Bees.
Bees. I'll save them.
I really want to play that Chinese ghost game. I want to play that. I want to play that.
Last Bastion.
No, that
Haka Ono.
Haka Ono about the one versus many.
Yeah, the weird, creepy.
Yeah.
Well,
girl in a box.
I had no idea.
Like,
Yeah.
what the heck am I
So the
playing?
front of it is like this spooky ghost child. And I was like, this is creepy. And then I read the back, and it just said something. The backstory on it.
Stuck in a box.
No. It said one day the angry men came, and my father was worried, so he put me in a box that was too small. I heard my bones break, but I kept quiet anyway. I heard my father scream, and then I heard nothing, and then I waited a long time, and everything was dark, and then more people came, and now I play hide and seek with them. But when I get bored, I eat. What? Yeah, and it's like basically it's a one versus many. So there's basically like 3 to 5 players. One person plays the ghost, and you don't know where they're hiding within the house.
Okay.
And you have to be able to try to escape the mansion. And you can do certain things to kind of like give you an idea of where the ghost is hiding. But if you do certain actions inside the room where the ghost is, the ghost eats you and kills you.
All right. Nuns on the Run, Scotland Yard.
I didn't think.
Flip the Mummy.
I like Flip the
Mummy.
Mummy. Well, that was cool because you had, as the mummy, you could kind of like get an idea as you're moving around. People were like,
"Oh, is that the magnet one?"
Yeah, or people like were trying to like, no, that way. I like
Flush the Penguins now, right?
I don't know. I own Flip the Movie. That was before that came out when American board games and toys could not have magnets that were small because they were worried kids would eat them. Their brains would explode.
They're so flavorful.
Well, if you actually do like swallow a magnet, it can kill you. I mean, it's one of those things where
if you not one,
You need at least 2.
yeah.
Is that the one where it pinches your intestines?
in 2 parts of your intestines they
It pinched
cause
off.
it.
Oh.
That's correct.
Yeah, they get separated and they.
But one magnet is totally good.
You probably have.
Unless you somehow
Unless you got some other kind of metal
What
in
if
it.
you ate a magnet and you ate the other magnet?
Oh my God.
You're asking the real questions here.
That's the
I wanna
ultimate
play-
bear hug.
I want to play Bear.
I was just about to
Oh,
mention
yeah.
the nun's on the run, but then the nun eats you, huh? And then she says, "We can all take comfort in knowing that the nun is dead."
Thomas not ready.
Kabuki brought in full circle.
Yeah.
What? We should wrap up.
We're gonna play some games.
There you go.
I'm going
All right.
Go play
Well, this is good. I'm glad we got to do this. This is fun, and
Well, actually, very
I
particular
appreciate
about-
everybody coming on and saying, "Hi, Kevin, thank you very much for even if you were dressing me down. I appreciate you taking the time to."
Just setting
It's a
you
healthy
straight, that's all.
banter.
Your one time being on the show and
So how many
and
episodes?
only time. No,
I think I'm getting the invite back.
No. Next year, same that challenge. It would be awesome for you to have back. And big thanks to Tom Vassell for being on
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah.
and for slumming it.
When you mentioned, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Well, no, and so the big thing is that people don't know this, but like I have an exceedingly large respect for Tom. So, and I do know that sometimes people like think that he's bigger than things, right? But he is. He's very, very much the same person that I used to play games with like 10 years ago. So he's just all the kudos in the world to him for taking his love for games and making it huge. So there you go.
Here.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Richard, thank you.
Tune in next time so we can learn the nuances of this show.
Oh, dude,
Yeah. If you have it'll take at least 7 or 8 episodes before you learn.
I used to have friends just like you, you mothers.
Look at him. Jim managed to censor himself.
Yeah.
I did. I'm 3 scotches in and I managed to censor myself.
All right. Adios, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. And did you got it on the end broadcast already?
No, I
Have fun storming the castle. Ciao.
And boom, boom, and wait.